Good morning. Today we'll start with the topic engine emissions and their control. We'll start with the topic that is emission control methods. There are different methods to control the emissions. The first method is thermal converters. So what is thermal converter? Secondary reactions occur much more readily and completely if the temperature is high. Secondary reactions are those reactions which occur after the expansion stroke has completed and the gases go out of the engine. So suppose you have carbon monoxide, it will react with oxygen to form CO2. So this is the reaction which will occur later on. This is the oxidation. The main function of thermal converter is to promote the oxidation of carbon monoxide and hydrocarbon. For this reaction to occur here above, you need a 700 degrees Celsius temperature. So means we have to make some sort of means to maintain temperature high. So you can see in this reaction that is unburnt hydrocarbon CXHY plus Z oxygen, where Z is equal to X plus 0.25Y, because for one carbon atom we need 2 oxygen, and for one hydrogen we need 0.25 oxygen molecule. So here you can see this reaction, carbon will convert to CO2 and hydrogen will convert to H2O. So this is the complete reaction here. The above reaction needs a temperature of 600 degrees Celsius. So this reaction needs 600 degrees Celsius for at least 50 milliseconds to substantially reduce hydrocarbon emissions. It is therefore necessary for thermal converter to be effective. It should operate at a high temperature. Further, it should be large enough to provide adequate resistance time to the exhaust gases to promote the occurrence of these secondary reactions. So this is the one of the method, that is your thermal converter. The next is your catalytic converters. The most effective after treatment for reducing engine emission is the catalytic converter, found in most automobile engines and other modern engines of medium or large size. Carbon monoxide, hydrocarbon can be oxidized to CO2 and H2O in exhaust system. And thermal converters, if the temperature is at 670 degrees Celsius, but this temperature is very high, so we have a solution for that. If certain catalysts are present, the temperature needed to sustain this oxidation process is reduced to 250 to 300 degrees Celsius. So what is catalyst? A catalyst is a substance that accelerates a chemical reaction by lowering the energy needed for the proceed. So we can understand the example of a water. Water in the atmosphere we have hydrogen and oxygen, but we won't get water unless until we had a catalyst, which is platinum. So the same here, we will use catalyst to promote the reaction here. Catalytic converters are chambers mounted in the flow of system through which exhaust gases pass through. These chambers contain catalytic material which promotes the oxidation of emissions contained in the exhaust flow. Generally, they are called three-way converters because they are used to reduce the concentration of CO, HC and NOx in the exhaust. It is usually stainless steel container mounted somewhere along the exhaust pipe of the engine. Inside the container is a porous ceramic structure through which the exhaust gas flow. In most converters, the ceramic is a single honeycomb structure with many flow passages. Some converters use loose granular ceramic with the gas passing between the packed spheres. Volume of ceramic structure of the converter is generally about half the displacement volume of the engine. So this is the size of the you can see ceramic structure. This results in a volumetric flow rate of exhaust gas such that there are 5 to 30 changeovers of the gas each second through the converter. Catalytic converters for compression engine need larger flow passages because of solid soot in the exhaust gases. The surface of ceramic passages contains small embedded particles of catalytic material that promote the oxidation reaction in the exhaust gas as it passes. Aluminum oxide is the base ceramic material used for most catalytic converter. Alumina can withstand high temperature, it remains chemically neutral, and it has very low thermal expansion, and it does not thermally degrade with the age. The catalyst material most used are platinum, palladium and rhodium. In this diagram you can see the catalytic converter. So this is your retainer here, retainer chamber. So this is your converter shell. The outer body is insulated to maintain the temperature. So this is your outer wrap, and before that you have insulation. So this structure contains catalyst. There are two types of catalytic converters here. One is your packed sphere, second is honeycomb structure. In packed sphere you can see this is catalytic pellet compound. This is your inlet of gas from one side and this is your outlet. So the catalytic converter look like this. Second is your with metal shell, and this is the your structure you had in this converter. So these are catalytic converters for spark ignition engine. So this contains catalyst, and the catalysts are palladium and platinum, which promote the oxidation of carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons. So mostly these reactions will take place. Rhodium promotes the reaction of NOx. So you can see here nitrogen monoxide and carbon monoxide will react to form the nitrogen plus CO2. So basically catalytic converter will provide time, and it will provide the required conditions for this unburnt and partially oxidized products to form into the stable and less harmful pollutions. You can see nitrogen is converted, monoxide is converted to nitrogen back, and carbon monoxide is converted to CO2 back. Same here, you can see here this will react. Also water is used here. It will form ammonia and carbon dioxide. The products are stable, more stable. So in this reaction you can see hydrogen is used, and it will form this product. So all these reactions, also you can see this carbon monoxide and water will form to form CO2 and hydrogen. So mostly the products outcome of the catalyst converter is stable. So figure 14.8 shows the efficiency of catalytic converter is very much dependent on temperature. When the converter is good working order is operational at a fully warm temperature of 460 above, it will be remove 98 to 90% of carbon monoxide and 95% of nitrogen oxides and more than 95% of hydrocarbons. You can see in this here, this side you have temperature, this is catalytic converter. At 100 or 200 degrees Celsius, there is hardly any efficiency of the catalytic converter, means it won't able to convert the carbon monoxide, hydroxide and nitrogen oxide. But when you come at 250 degree temperature, you can see above 250 degree temperature almost 80 to 90% of hydrocarbon and almost 70 to 80% of carbon monoxide, and almost you can see here this 90% of nitrogen oxide is converted into stable elements, and as the temperature increases further at 400, you can see it is 100% efficient. So means the catalytic converter will start to function at this point, and it will give its maximum output at 400 degrees Celsius. So it means the exhaust temperature should be maintained in the catalytic converter around near 400 degrees Celsius. The catalytic converter efficiency also depend on the equivalence ratio. Figure 14.9 shows that it is also necessary to be operating at a proper equivalence ratio to get higher converter efficiency. Effective control of hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide emissions occurs with stoichiometric or lean mixtures, while control of NOx requires near stoichiometric conditions. Very poor NOx control occurs with lean mixtures. We will discuss here in this diagram. This is conversion efficiency of catalytic converter as a function of fuel equivalence ratio. You can see when the fuel equivalence ratio is 0.96, the NOx efficiencies of catalytic converter is very poor. But when you will go to the equivalence ratio 1, the NOx efficiency is almost 85%, and when you use almost 1.01, the NOx efficiency is almost 90%. So it means if the equivalence ratio at equivalence or near to the equivalence ratio, the NOx conversion to the less harmful gases, or you can say NOx conversion efficiency of catalytic converter is the maximum. While for hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide, at 0.96 you can say 80%, 85% of hydrocarbon is converted fully into carbon dioxide and hydrogen and water, and while carbon monoxide almost 95% is converted into carbon dioxide. And when you go into this side, rich side, you can see the CO, carbon monoxide as well as hydrocarbon emissions, their conversion efficiency is decreased. It means if you use a rich mixture, the chances of catalytic converter to convert the hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide due to less harmful you can say compounds is less. So means your converter will become inefficient at high rich mixtures. So same for the nitrogen, same for hydrocarbon, and same for carbon monoxide. So this means catalytic converter will work, but we have to maintain equivalence, near equivalence ratio for the maximum optimum operation of the working of catalytic converter, and we have to also obtain the temperature which is your 400 degrees Celsius for almost 95 to 100% efficiency for the catalytic converter. It is desirable that catalytic converter have an efficient lifetime equal to 2 lakh km. But due to high temperature range between 500 and 9 degrees Celsius, what will happen? The catalytic converter catalyst will degrade, and also the engine exhaust and poison that catalyst material includes lead and sulfur from fuels, zinc, phosphorus, antimony, calcium and magnesium from oil additives. These all products will just degrade the life of the catalytic converter. Figure 14.10 shows how just small amount of lead or catalyst site can reduce hydrocarbon emission reduction by a factor of 2 or 3. Small amounts of lead impurities are found in some fuels and 10 to 30% of this ends up in the catalytic converter. You can see in this figure lead contamination of catalyst. So as the lead contamination of catalyst increases, the catalytic converter efficiency will decrease. So this is a problem for us. But nowadays we don't use leaded petrol if the lead content is maintained within limit. So you can save your catalytic converter life. Sulfur is also a problem. As we know, sulfur will form sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, and this will react with the water to form sulfuric acid, which will degrade the catalyst. So new catalysts are being developed that promote the oxidation of hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide but do not change SO2, SO2-3. Some of these create almost no SO3. The temperature of converter is kept less than 400 degrees Celsius. Cold startup problems. There is one problem with the catalytic converter. During the start of the engine, temperatures are very low. So the temperature at which converter becomes 50% efficient is called light off temperature, and it is 200 to 300 degrees Celsius. But during the start of the engine, this temperature is not there. So we have to make some method to ensure that during the start the catalytic converter will work. So it is estimated that cold starts up a source of 70-90% of hydrocarbon emissions. A major reduction in emissions is therefore possible if catalytic converter could be preheated. So how they can be done? So method of catalytic converter preheating include this here: by locating the converter close to the engine, by having super insulation, by applying electric preheating, and by using flame heating and incorporating thermal batteries. So these are the methods with which we can maintain the temperature of catalytic converter even during the startup to near to the, you can say, this light of temperature. So up to this here is the your methods to prevent the and you can see control the emissions. So we have discussed about the catalytic converter. Like this video, subscribe my channel, and for comments you can give into the below section. And thank you for watching this video.